Hi and welcome back to Finders Beepers History Seekers, back at the roots of the channel. So me and Freddie are metal detecting tonight. It's not going to be a regular thing. What I've tried to do with him is things like mudlarking, fossil hunting, now metal detecting, and hopefully next we'll do something like magnet fishing. So hopefully we're going to find some good stuff in this field. I have found some stuff. I found a big World War I medal in this field before. And a few other bits as well, but we haven't got very long in it because the farmer is usually fine with us coming in any time of, like, apart from when the crops are like midway up. But he says this time he's doing something with the field, so we can only come in when it's like stubble, and I hate detecting when it's like this. And we're next to a horrible busy road as well, so
kills your legs, doesn't it?
It does, it's a nightmare. But hopefully we'll get at least something out of here. Right, we've got our first signal here. This ground is quite hard though, I'm not going to lie, so it might take some digging up. I might get Freddie to film some of the digging, but I'm not going to film it all because there's nothing worse than watching a metal detecting video and all you can see is people digging stuff for ages. So we'll shorten it down a little bit for you. Oh, told you it is like solid, rock solid. Should probably not a good idea to do it with like broken knees either. So you can point it at my face, you know. We don't just have to look at the floor. Right, straight away it's in here.
It's in there.
Let me just see if I can.
Just split that. What side's it in?
Neither.
Oh,
Disappeared.
they were.
It's in there. No, it's out altogether.
What?
It's in between this lot. Right, I'm gonna have to swap over and you can do this because I can't bend. Right, get all the lumps that have come out one by one, run them past this and I'll tell you if it's beeping. No, you got to move it, you can't just hold it next to it. No. There, it's in there, I think. Let's have a look. It's not in there. Oh, yeah, it is.
Where?
What is it?
And where is it?
There's nothing there. What's beeping? If it's there, it's the smallest thing in the world. It's not. Right, just give me a second. Right, what a nightmare that was. It wasn't tiny, it was this. And it's not a coin, it's a button. And this is the button field, but this is a different sort of button. It's heavy. We normally find military buttons in this field, but this is what feels like a lead button. Now, you know I hate buttons, but I don't mind metal ones, which is quite fortunate really. Yeah, you have a feel how heavy that is. To say it's small,
Not that.
yeah, I know obviously it's not as heavy as like a car.
Sticky?
It's because the mud's quite sticky. So yeah, that's our first find of the day, a lead button. Right, the sun's on its way down. It's a beautiful evening, to be fair. It's been quite cold this week. I suppose that's after coming back from 40 degrees in Morocco, but I've got a decent-ish signal. Now, I've got a really old detector, so there's no numbers, no nothing. It's just the sound it makes, although I've now lost it. So just give me a second, I'll find it again. Now, we forgot the pinpointer, so it's a bit of a nightmare trying to find stuff, because you've got to use the full detector. What are you doing, man? What is happening in your life? So yeah, I've got him searching through stuff, but he can't hear if it's beep. Well, can you hear if it's beeping?
Yeah, I can.
So yeah, we're working together because my knees don't work yet after jumping off a 12-foot wall in France.
Like a stupid idiot.
Like a stupid idiot. You're not wrong. So anyway, this is why it's a bit awkward at the moment to try and do it. Right, let's have a look. I think, wait a minute, it's in there somewhere. No, don't just pick up one thing at a time, pick a handful up. I think it's, move over here. Right, I think it's over at this side. Yeah, it's in there. Oh, I can see it.
There.
Let's have a look.
It's like a cat.
Oh, it's another button. Now, this has always been called button field. It's the outside of the button. So this has always been called button field for a reason, and I'll tell you why now. Right, so this field not far from here, just up there, is a massive hall, and they used to use it to put prisoners of war in. Oh no, sorry, the prisoners of war place was that way, and that way was a military hospital. Now, what they used to do is, obviously a lot of these people weren't going back off to war, or they may have died, and there was lots of reasons, but they'd take all the uniforms off and they'd burn them in this field. Or, well, we're not sure, they either burnt them or they put them on top of things like manure that they were going to spread later on in the year around the field. So they put them over the top of the poo, and then obviously that would break down and it'd protect it. I don't really know the ins and outs of it. Either that or they burn the stuff on here, but I've never really found burn marks on stuff, so I think it's the poo thing, the poo idea. And that's why we found a medal in here. We've also found millions of military buttons, like millions and millions, and trouser buttons and things like that. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of button finds over the next couple of hours, however long we're going to be. Right, it just shows you should always check your hole after you've been finding stuff. Of course, down in the bottom of there, I've got a very slight signal. You'll not be able to hear it, I don't think, but I could unplug this, but I like to be able to hear the little noises. Because I haven't got a display like a lot of new ones, the little noises make a massive difference, especially next to a busy road like this. So I just need to dig that little bit of a hole out a little tiny bit more. It's now in there, I can hear it. Stop getting one thing at a time. Get a handful of stuff. That's better. Put your hand flat. Alright, it's not in that bit.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, you got it?
I think.
What is it?
Button.
Is it a coin? Oh, is it a button?
Yeah.
So we were just talking about trouser buttons. Now, if this had been a plastic button, I would have hated it. But I don't mind metal buttons like that. Now, when we get back, we'll clean it up and see if it's got any sort of writing on it. Try and work out where it's come from. But once again, I reckon that's another military style, maybe trouser button or something like that. Right, we're on our third signal of the day. This one's a bit scrapey, so I don't know if it might be a bit of rubbish, but to be fair, you'd think there'd be more rubbish next to this big road than there actually is. We haven't found anything rubbish yet. And to be fair...
The question is, how would it be rubbish? If there's a gate there, then we're far up, but this is no...
To be honest, you're right. Like, up near the gates, there is rubbish, but down here there isn't. But people throw stuff out the car. They're all dirty gremmers, aren't they? So that's why. But hopefully it's going to be something good. Right, let me just make sure it's in there. Right, try the middle bit. Get a big handful of the middle bit. Right, just move... Oh, is that it?
What?
I said it was scratchy. Put it down there.
This?
Yeah. Yeah. I've just... Right, what it is, on here, you get like a thing called discrimination level. So it'll get rid of things like iron if I have it turned right down. But sometimes Romans have bits of iron stuff.
Ew,
so
worm.
I always just have a quick look, leave it up for that reason. What's up with you?
A worm.
Oh, wiggly worm.
It's there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'll leave it up, but then I end up finding bits of tractor.
Oh, look at it.
Or as me and Andy and Roy used to call them, bits of boat, which is a bit of a tractor. That's what it stands for. Just pick that up for me, Freds. We'll have a quick look at it, but I don't think it's anything good.
It's not that heavy.
No, it's cast iron though. It's like iron. See, because of the colour coming through on it. It's a bit of rubbish.
Oh,
We'll chuck it in the edge. I know, but that's because it's quite big. And I said it was scratchy. That's why, with this sort of metal detector, an old one, because I think this is like 1970s or something, but I love it. I don't know why, I've just got a bit of a fondness for it. You've got to listen to the different sorts of sounds. It's not just beep, look at a number, and that's it. Like with this, it's like if it's scratchy, you know it's probably going to be rubbish. If it's a really strong beep, you can usually tell if it's like gold or silver. There's different sounds, and you know it. You know, like I can tell when it's a tiny coin or a tiny button compared to something big and fat like this. But that's the art of metal detecting. None of your numbers, knowing exactly what it is before it even comes out of the ground. It spoils it for me, that, I think. Freddie's loving the Canada geese flying through the air over there, and they'll be migrating back off to Canada So can you imagine that they're going to fly all the way from here right up to Canada?
Why is Canada?
Because the Canada geese, that's where they live, my guy.
Yeah, but shouldn't they fly to a hot place in the V formation, and that's the V formation?
It is the V formation, well spotted.
Canada is not a warm place.
Actually, I don't know if they do go to Canada. I've just always thought of them going there because they're called Canada geese.
No.
So,
It's wrong.
what do you mean, no, it's wrong? You don't know either.
They go to like Africa.
I don't think they go to Africa.
They do.
They're not going to go and like sit round a pool in Morocco or something.
No, well, they fly to Africa. I know.
Maybe you're right. Right, Freds, I've just found something. And it's on the surface.
That?
Oh, you got it? You've seen it? I was going to say, can you find it? I don't know, it looks like a buckle. It actually looks like a mini person's stirrup for an horse.
Oh.
But it's bent. I think it's some sort of buckle or fastening. It's got like holes where something else is fastened onto it. Any ideas what that is? Let me know in the comments. I do not know. I've got no clue what that is at all. Not a clue. I think it, like I say, it looks like on the end of a belt, like a belt buckle. But it just seems very odd, and it's quite heavy as well. And that was just sat on the surface, just being sunned. That's why it's this colour. Wait a minute, I've put it in my pocket now. It's not like it's all dusty, and it's like sun bleached a little bit as well. Just being sat up on the surface, having a good sunbathe. I think it's pretty cool, that. I'd like to know what it was off though. It does interest me a bit, that, because it feels a bit chunky to go on the end of like a belt or something. Not sure. Let me know in the comments what you think it is. Right, we've got a good signal. I thought it was in this top surface bit here because it's so loud. Come here, come close. It's actually a bit scrapey now.
I can hear that.
But yeah, it's loud enough. So I reckon it's just under here somewhere. I think you can see it.
I do.
Can you see it?
There.
You know, I know exactly what that is, Freds. Here, let me hold it. Do you know what that is?
Like a bell.
A bell, that's exactly what it is. Let me just show you. Right, do you know what that's for? Any idea what that could be for?
Like a cow or a horse.
Good boy. I'm surprised you thought that. That's almost, well, they did put it on cows, but one that size was probably going to be for like a sheep or something like that. What we're looking at?
Messy fly.
Oh, the flies around my head. Ah! Oh. So I just dropped my metal detector, which was attached to my head with those, and just yanked my ears off. It's fine. I don't want it back on now for a minute. Yeah. So those two holes at the top, not that you can tell because it's full of dirt. There's a hole there and a hole there. That went round the sheep or cow or whatever's neck, and then there were a little thing in there. Now I'm guessing the little dinger has gone out of the middle because it's full of dirt and it's a bit broken. But that is cool. Oh, look, they're called crotal bells, those.
Can you put it on fast so I can hear it?
Oh yeah, of course. Go on then.
It's loud.
It is loud. It really rung up, and I don't know. I think it's quite old, that one. I don't think it's a new one.
50 years.
No, Fred's longer than that. I reckon that's maybe 200 years old. Maybe something like that. But
Like 70.
you can't. The thing is, they had them for such a long time, and some of them have got like maker's marks on them as well. They'll have names written on them and things. But this is quite a basic one, which is what's making me think it's quite old. Anyway, we're losing light now. As you can see, the sun is well and truly on its way down. But I've totally made a mistake. This time of year, it's getting darker at night, and I'm thinking, oh God, there's flies all around my face. I'm thinking, oh yeah, we can stay out till like 9-10 o'clock. Literally, it'll be dark in half an hour at least. So we're going to carry on looking. He has got his own metal detector, to be fair, but this one is, if I make it a bit shorter, he could probably use this one. I'll get a new one. Or not a new one, but a new old one. Right, I think this might be one of our last ones, but that is loud. I don't know if you can... Really, really loud there. Go on then, Freds. Can you dig?
I'm
Get your
good.
foot. No, don't put it that way. That's it. Put it up. Jump on top. Or you're just not a fatty enough like your dad. I don't think we're going to get about that deep.
Oh, there's two there.
Oh. Here's me saying, oh, I don't think we're going to get about that deep. Well, they must have been on surface. Can't even get him to focus. Come on, come here. What's happening? There we go. 2 4-hole buttons. I told you this must be the spot where they used to do it. What is happening? Why can't I focus? Your face
That
is
does
like...
not make sense. You just said 2 old 4 buttons.
No, 2 4-hole buttons. Look, you're not focusing. Just give me a minute. Right, that's better. You're not a big blurry boy anymore. So yeah, we've got 2 4-hole buttons, and these ones, pretty sure, have got writing around the outside. But we'll have a look, check of that when we've got a bit of better light, because we're starting to lose light massively now. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else. I will just check again. Right, I tell a lie. There was another signal. I'll do this one, Freds. I'll dig it, because I think this one's deeper down.
Doesn't sound that deep.
Well, give it a go then if you want, but it needs to be...
Like there?
Yeah, you can do, but get all your weight on it. There's just no weight to get on it. Oh yeah, better move that away.
Have a check.
Let's have a look. Is it still in the hole? There is no hole. That is just not even a hole and you've got it out. They must have been sat on top. Yeah, it's in there.
Is it in there?
No.
There.
Yeah. Oh, is it another one?
Yeah.
So it's a third 4-hole button. So this is what I was saying. This is what I mean. This is the area that me and Andy used to find stuff constantly. There's a gate just there, just up there, and the end is there, and halfway between is where we'd find all the buttons. So we know this was the area that they used to dump stuff. But like I said, this main road, I'm surprised we haven't found more Roman on here, because this main road here is a Roman road that used to run to the Great North Road, which was obviously the biggest Roman road in the UK pretty much, or one of, that runs along there. And this one used to run all the way to Doncaster, from like Barnsley and Sheffield, and there's a gatehouse or like a sentry point where the Romans used to sit just a bit further up here. And we've only ever found one bit of Roman in here, and he found it with like a child's metal detector. He found it. So absolutely madness. Yeah, he found his only ever Roman coin that he's found with his tiny little detector in a field that should be full of Roman stuff, and we've never found anything in here before. It's mad. Right, it's always the same. Just as we're walking away to leave, another signal. So we're just heading off in that direction, back up to the car, and we get that one last signal before we get to the gate. So we're going to give it a dig, see if we can find anything. Right, we swapped roles for a minute. I'm the digger, he's the finder. Right, have a go over that, see if it's in that bit, in the clod. That's called the clod. Is it in there, or is it in the hole? Oh, it's out of the hole, but in the middle of there. So let's move that out of the way.
It's in there.
Right, I'll move it with the spade because I can't bend.
It's in here somewhere, I think.
Is it? Give it a good move over it.
It is a bit of a boot then.
Right, flatten this off. That's it. Right, now do it over the top like that.
It's round there.
It's over in this bit.
Wait, I think I can
spread it out.
See it.
Can you?
It's there.
What's that? See, this is the problem now. Look, the light is getting so bad. Oh, it's a military button, I think, Freds. But you can hardly see what it is at the moment. Let me see if this makes a difference. There we go. Bit of light on it. So yeah, it's definitely it's a flattened military button, that one. But I can't really see much on it at the moment. We'll have to wait until we get home because it's sort of caked in
Yeah, a bit like
dry
a
mud.
scratchy noise here.
Are you?
Yeah.
Right, we'll move my spade. Try again.
Yeah, it's still there. It's
Right.
like here.
we'll give it a dig then. Just give me
now.
a sec. Right. So we know it's not in the hole. It's in here somewhere. And I've unplugged this so you can actually hear it. So get me an handful. No. Don't ever throw your rubbish back in the hole either, because then it's harder to find. Put it off to one side. Your dirt that we've used. No.
Wait, there's something stuck in there.
Well spotted.
It's like a coin.
Yeah, look at that as well. You can see where it's been sat. Like the imprint of it as well. It's a Victorian penny by the looks of things. Let's have a look. Oh, look at her. Look at her face glowing up at us. Let me just get this light on again. That's better, look. So I've got a Victorian penny. What year? What year are you guessing? Oh, have you got no clue? I can't see actually. Oh, I can now.
1970.
Well, she died in 1901.
Weather.
She died in 1901.
1800s.
So, yeah, this is in the 1800s, this one.
Like the 1870s.
Bit later.
100.
100?
18. The 80s.
1880s? No. 1899. 1899. You can just about see it there.
So it were only 2 more years and then she died.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why the head on this one is her old head. I don't think she's like used one and got a new one. I mean, it's when
just went like, I want a new head.
Yeah, no, she's got her old looking head, and it's been very worn, that in someone's hand. Been used a lot by the looks of things. But our house was built in 1901, the year that she was born. So died.
I was gonna say
She wasn't born then. Right, let's make it back to the car because we're running out of light very fast. Right, I'm in a very noisy office to show you these. Don't know why, but everyone's being really loud. So if you can hear people talking away, it's because our office is like right next to another office. There's one above us. We've not got one behind us because of the stairs, but people walk up and down the stairs and it's like bang, 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 bang. So I'll show you what we found. It's not like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the best like finds we've ever found, but Freddie loved it. He really enjoyed it. So I foresee us doing more videos like that. And I know we do have quite a lot of metal detecting people that have been around for a while that probably will appreciate it. Might not be your cup of tea, but I enjoy it, but I just generally don't get the time to do it these days. But if I'm with Freddie and he wants to do it, then I might make you some more videos. Anyway, let me show you what we found. Right, most of these are buttons. He is so loud. Oh no, I better not point up there because big pile of dirty pots. All the mess in the office. I have not been in this office for far too long. Anyway, I'm also being really quiet because I don't really know why. So first of all, we've got the lead button. Now this potentially could be really old. It's really got some weight to it, but obviously it was a cheaper way of making buttons, but they didn't really last a great deal of time because it's made out of lead. Any bang and dints and they break quite easily. But it is good because it literally could be like 15, 16, 1700s, could be earlier than that. Potentially, I don't think it'll be Roman times, but with where it was, it could be. There is a chance of that. Also, I've been eating kebab and I can see some chili sauce on my big fat nail-bitten fingers and thumbs. That's disgusting. I've just had a second thought about this. It might not even be a button. It might be a hem weight. I've been thinking about it for a while. So, basically, you used to have things like this at the bottom of things like curtains, at the bottom of even dresses to hold the bottom of the dress down. There's all sorts they used them for. But I don't know, just something in my head tells me it is a button. Like a big old button that went on a big jacket or something like that. But it could be a hem weight. I'm not ruling it out. Next up, These are quite straightforward. I can't really say much about them. They are just 3 metal plain 4-hole buttons. Like I said, they've probably come directly off the uniforms, so they'll have been plain buttons, maybe fly buttons, or there's all sorts of places they could have come from. But I reckon they're probably from military uniforms, because I know when we've been metal detecting in that field before, we've not just found British stuff. We found Australian, Belgian, I can't remember where else, but I know that there's other soldiers from other nations that were in that field. So potentially they might not be the sort of standard buttons that you would expect. Now, I know a lot of you be like, oh, buttons are so boring. Why would you want to even look at buttons? I just think it's quite good to date a field. Sometimes buttons, you can generally work out, like this has got a massive cross section. This field has got like right back to Roman, right up to like World War II. So there's all sorts in there, but sometimes it helps work out how old things are. And some people absolutely love buttons. I also think a lot of you will be saying, well, how come you like these buttons? You don't mind these buttons? They're metal. It's the plastic ones I don't like. If they're plastic, I can't be doing with them. Now, this next one, once again, I think it might have got a letter. It's quite hard to see. Just let me try and light it up. Yeah, that's sort of better, although we've got a big shadow now. But yeah, if you look, I think there's a letter B in the middle. However, it could be the other side of that. So I broke that as well. Not that it was any good to start with. Now, the next 4-hole button we've got has got writing around it. Now, it is quite hard to show you, especially because I'm struggling. But it says, so this at the bottom here is NE. Turn it round. It says NE plus Ultra. Now, I did just look up what that meant. I think this is brilliant. I actually do think this is brilliant. It's got nothing to do with the buttons, sort of. But basically, it means no more beyond in Latin. And it was written on the pillars, pillars of Hercules on the Gibraltar Strait. Now, the reason it was put there was to warn sailors that there was nothing after that. Basically, before the rest of the world was discovered, they thought that was the end of the world, not to go any further. So that's what it means. NE plus, what was the last bit? Ultra means basically there's nothing after this, don't come any further. How cool is that? But I don't know why it's ended up on a button. I'm guessing that was because I've looked it up and they're on military sort of trousers and things like that. So I don't know whether it was to tell the women not to go in the trousers because there's nothing in there. I don't know. But it is a bit of a weird thing to put on there. But it's opened up some history that I never knew about. I'd never heard of that before. But then apparently in the 1600s, it came back again and they started putting it on stuff. So it ended up on these trousers, which look like they were World War One rather than World War Two. So a pair of World War One trousers was burned or put on top of poo in a field for some reason. Anyway, the next finds are my favourite ones. Right, following on from the military uniform stuff. Sorry about my... Look at this. You could tell I've been eating my dinner. That's a general service button. It is taking some right hammer. It's that way up, look. Oh, God, I should have definitely cleaned my fingers. That is disgusting, Matt. You are a tramp. Yeah, look, if you look at that close, you've got the unicorn on that side, you've got the lion rampant on that side, and it's been absolutely battered, the button. But yeah, that's what it was for. Crotal bells. I do love a good crotal bell. I've something else disgusting coming up. So this looks lovely and shiny, and that's because it's the grease from my kebab. I've just been rubbing it with the grease off my fingers. That is, oh, Matt, you're just a tramp. Look at that. No women will ever want you with fingers like, well, I don't know. Not sharp, are they? But yeah, nice little dingy crotal bell. There will have been a little dinger inside that. That would have obviously not been broken. It would have gone around a sheep's neck or a cow's neck, and it would have just been so they knew exactly where they were because they could hear them dinging away. So yeah, I love crotal bells. They're really, really cool. Next, Victoria penny. Once again, giving it a good rub with my fingers. It's very black on that side. I'm not going to clean it up, to be fair. 1899. You can see the wear on the other side though from people's fingers touching it all the time. It's very, very black on that side. But yeah, cool. And like Freddie said, it was made 2 years before she died. So one of the probably the last ones ever to be made. This does confuse me because now I've cleaned it up a bit. I don't know if you can see. It's gilt. It's got gold, like gilded. It's like gilded. It's got like flecks of gold in different places on it. Now I am pretty sure it is off some sort of belt or maybe a bag or some. It's a strap of some sort. But I don't know how old it is. Like, look, it's got holes there where it would have been fastened through, which makes me think it's probably not that old. Because I don't think it would have been fastened that way if it was like Roman or something. It'd be broken in a minute. But I think maybe 1800s. I don't know. I'd like you to help out if you know. But yeah, why is it gold? Why has it got gold on it? And finally, well, oh no, we just looked at that. There is something else. Now, this thing that I'm going to show you in a second was found in a totally different place. Now, there is a hall not far from where we went. I told you there was those two that I mentioned, but there's another one. And a few years ago, I actually made a video where I found a load of Masonic stuff, a load of Masonic, basically somebody, and I found out who, I found out all the information. It's really cool, of this guy called Charles, and he lived in the hall in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. I'll put a picture in of him, and basically he was a Mason, and I found his uniform to start off with and the remnants of like the lock off like a little briefcase where it had been buried in his orchard at the end of the garden. I had permission to go in. It was during lockdown. I think it was 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah, 2020 when I found it. So 4 years ago. But what I didn't tell you, and I was asked not to tell people, however, now it's not a problem anymore. So basically, the relative, I gave the stuff to the relative of Charles, and the orchard at the time was owned by somebody else. And basically they'd said we were fine to give what I'd found to the other person whose relative it was, as long as we didn't show the major things that I found. And I never told you what it was I found. So it was a bit exciting. Now, the orchard has now just been sold again. And while they're doing it up, I got permission with Freddie just to bomb on there quickly, and do a little bit of metal detecting. Now, I'll show you first what I found, and then I'll tell you about the thing that I found 4 years ago, and it's amazing. Now, this is what me and Freddie found just 2 days ago. If you look at it, it's actually really detailed. It's got little, they're not stones, but that's been gilded as well, look, at some point. They're all different coloured sort of gems all the way up it. Now, I think it's a hair clip, but it's been bent, look, out of shape. But it's got a little bit here that seems to lift up. It's not gold, obviously. It's just brass or copper or something. It's got a little fastening there as well. Now, it's one of two things. It's either a hair clip, which is what I initially thought it was, or it's got something to do with the Masons. Now, I've spoken to my good friend, I'm not saying his name, who is a Mason, and he tells me that as far as he's aware, it's nothing to do with the Masons. But it was found in exactly the same spot as the stuff that I found 4 years ago. Now, this is the exciting bit. So, in the video, I don't know if I ever put it online. I think I did. It was a metal detecting video, and I found all the clips. There was like snake fastenings. I don't know if you've seen them. They have them on things like nurses' outfits have them a lot of the time. They fit into each other, and it's like snakes. It's really good. We found a load of those. We found a load of the clips. We found the rest of the briefcase and the fastenings and the locks and stuff like that. And that was about it. However, I also went and found 3 items which just changed everything. At this point, we had no idea who these things had come from. I was pretty sure there was something to do with the Masons, but I couldn't be 100% sure. Now, I can't actually show you the items in person because I searched on the internet. I found out who Charles's relatives were, and I sent them on. I sent everything on to them. They gave me a finder's fee. It wasn't a massive amount because I didn't want loads of money for it, but they were really appreciative because they remembered the son of Charles. So these 3 things that I found was his Masonic medals. It had his name on the back. There were 3 different ones. I'll put pictures in and you will just not believe it. You won't believe it. I'll also put pictures in of, oh no, I better not put pictures in of the hall because then you'll know where it is exactly. But anyway, it's just mad. These 3 medals, solid silver medals that were given to him at the turn of the century, round about the same time this coin was, round about probably the same time this was from, and it's just magnificent. And I solved it, and I found his grave. I found the grave of the guy who basically, they were his Masonic medals. They would have hidden them in the orchard because it was a very secret thing back then to be in the Masons. It was kept hush-hush, all the secret handshakes, all that sort of stuff. So it was really exciting. I found where he was buried. I found a massive article about how the whole village loved him. Absolutely loved him. He wasn't a lord that was sort of like hated. He was loved by everybody. He built like a nurse's home for the local like nurses, obviously. He wasn't in a big fancy carriage. They put him on the back of a like a hay thing. You take hay from place to place. What's the word I'm thinking about? Trailer, the hay trailer. It's not a trailer. I'm just talking rubbish. So yeah, he was put on a hay trailer in his coffin and taken to the normal graveyard and buried in there. Now, don't get me wrong, his family has got quite a lot of very nice, ornate graves. However, he was treated just like one of the people because everybody loved him. And they all came out and stood on the sides of the road. And I just think it's brilliant. But I'll put the pictures in that I can of him and of maybe I'll do some background searches to make sure you can't find out where it is. And I'll show you there. But it's just brilliant. What a story. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. It just shows you don't know what you can find when you're metal detecting. History's out there to be had. And it just brings things to buildings that you walk past every day. Graveyards you walk past every day. Roads even. I know which road he went down on his funeral and stuff like that, and it just brings it back to life. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed. Me and Freddie really enjoyed it, and if you do like this sort of video, I will try and maybe do some more. See you later. Goodbye.